just want to make sure our outside screws are in the center of our rim joist. We're going to mark them on all four sides. Set that aside, and we're going to pre-drill. Now that we've got our post locations prepped, we've come under the deck, we've already mounted our power supply, and we've pre-drilled our hole to feed the wiring harness up into the first post. We've pre-drilled our 9/16 hole in the center of the decking in between our four holes for the post. Now we just have to widen out the weep hole on the bottom of the post here so we can run our wiring harness up through and up into the post.
We're going to take a 5-foot harness and we're going to feed the male end up, and we are going to tape it off at the top so it doesn't fall back down on us, and then we're going to feed the female end down through the hole to the power supply. You will want to check to make sure it's level. This is a new deck, so everything is precisely on, but if needed you can use some composite shims. Take the base trim, feed that over the post and the wire harness, but be careful not to drop that back down your post.
Now that we have our post secured and plumbed, we're going to take our rail kit. Today we're installing 100 series bread loaf rail. We're going to find that we have a bottom rail, top rail, and the appropriate brackets. Next step is to grab our AFCO tool and pre-drill our holes. When using our AFCO tool, you're going to want to make sure you use the appropriate holes for the series rail that you have. You're simply going to line it up on the 4-inch or the 3-inch side, depending on the size post you have. Hold it flush with the top of the post and pre-drill your appropriate holes. So you can see I've drilled my 2 level rail bracket holes. And I've also included one more for the low voltage wiring harness. We're just going to have to ream that out to 9/16 in order to fit our harness through. Now that we have our holes pre-drilled, we're going to take our saddle bracket with supplied Torx self-tapping screws and fasten the saddle bracket to the post.
Being our 4-foot kit is too long, we need to trim it. So what we need to do is we need to find the center point on a Belcon is preferred. And in this case I had 35.5, so I'm gonna find my center, mark that end, and mark this end, where I'm gonna cut it so we get a consistent look. Next step, now that we've got our rail kit cut to length properly, we're gonna take our baluster kit and apply them to the bottom rail. Then the box comes perfectly set on 4 inches, so you can set your balusters in there to make it easier to attach the top rail. The next step will be to take a rubber mallet and lightly tap it to make sure they're secure.
So before we install our rail kit, we're going to have to do a little more work on the lighting. First, we're going to take our male end that we've fed up through the post and connect our 2 output splitter, followed by lit cap to one of the outputs, and then our next harness, which will be going through the rail into the next post. We'll then feed the male end through that 9/16 hole that we drilled in the previous step. Now that we have our wiring harness fed through the top rail, we're just going to slide on our bracket covers and our lower brackets. Want to make sure to feed that male end through the next post and just keep tension on it as you set it into place so it doesn't get pinched. Now that we've got our rail kit set into our saddle brackets, we're just going to use the AFCO tool on the bottom bracket to center it on the post and run it in nice and tight. And also, don't forget the set screw underneath the rail to hold it down. And you can slide the top bracket cover into place.